I just wrote a note that just says, what the fuck is Todd talking about? But also, I love it.
Open your mouth, prepare your tongue, because you're about to get a taste.
I cannot believe we've gone 12 episodes without me being able to talk about Final Fantasy.
Well, I know the doll is bad, so I gotta think the Dusty Balloon is less bad.
I mean, if all life everywhere ends, what have I lost?
Facial hair as a theme is not something I ever would have chosen.
So yeah, that's the one that Rock is just sweaty the whole time.
He's got that good pointy Jafar beard.
I've got 3 pages of AMA citations.
This is the Debate This podcast.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this podcast, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and how South Bend, Indiana isn't a real place and is just the name of Pete Buttigieg's town in Animal Crossing New Leaf on the Nintendo 3DS.
It was created as a plot point for the show The Music Man, and then just continued on in the Pete Buttigieg headcanon.
Oh dear.
To any of our listeners who are in South Bend, Indiana, how are you listening to this? Because you don't exist.
You are false. You are.
You're in Peach Buttigieg's mind hole.
Would that we were all in Pete Buttigieg's mind hole.
Oh, that'd be good. That's a fun place.
Well, we got trouble right here in Debate This City. I'm your
Yeah,
guest
there it
moderator. I'm your guest moderator, Mayor Tom Nook, Zalatnai, and I'd like you to join me by taxi, train, shanty boat, or school bus as we take a trip to everyone's favorite raccoon-run utopia, the town of... Oh shit! What happened? Oh my god! Oh, no. Somebody killed former Mayor Tortimer. Damn it! I'm gonna just take that line again. You can leave that in if you want. Oh my god, somebody killed former Mayor Tortimer. This is a disaster. This is the worst thing that's happened to Animal Crossing since Amiibo Festival. Hey. Thankfully, we've got a crack team of Halloween detectives on the case. I'm joined today in no particular order by Todd Spooky Thomas, Kyle Dookie Harper, Andrew Kooky Henderson, and Matt the Young One Cole.
This is bullshit and I'm tired of it. This is bullshit and I'm tired of it.
It's all right, Matt. Mine means poop, so you can take your winnings.
Yes, but yours is also the best Green Day album.
Ooh, fair point. Matt, for what it's worth, I was born in 1993.
Ha! Yes. Thank God, I'm not alone.
Anyway, hopefully between the four of you, we can crack the case and figure out who done it. So, Officers Cooper and Booker have informed me that Mayor Tortimer's body was found floating in the fountain outside of City Hall. Autopsy revealed no signs of struggle, but puncture wounds to his shell and abdomen suggest he was maybe impaled on a large, sharp object. Our townsfolk all carry around tools like shovels, axes, and slingshots, and the town is full of public works projects like clocks, lamps, and even pyramids. So, guys, what's our murder weapon? And you know what? While we're at it, who do you think did it?
Definitely a pyramid.
I was gonna say it's definitely the pyramid. So in things like this, I find it is always the person that you least suspect, right? And so, in fact, the person that I think we least suspect is likely the person that did it. That's what I'm getting at. And so that was the same thing twice.
Thanks for writing that on the wall, Todd.
I've had a lot of cough syrup today. It's fine.
Todd, would you also supposit that it is the person you suspect the least?
Yeah. Yes. The point that I'm getting at is I'm here to tell you today that those repeated puncture wounds, those grievous wounds left on this innocent turtle's body came from the one and only Isabel, the mayor's assistant. And it was, in fact, done with a fishing rod, not a pyramid, like Tom suggested it might have been.
Stabbed to death with a fishing rod?
And it's one of those fiberglass ones, so you had to
Have you
push
held a
real
fishing
hard.
rod in the last 5 years, Todd? They're like they're flimsy.
Yeah.
A non-Smash Bros. Related fishing rod.
It was like it's more like a fencing. What are fencing swords called?
Except it's a fencing sword.
Wait, a what?
It's an épée.
Oh,
Shut up, making up words, Tom. That's not a thing. Anyway,
I come from a place where French is happening.
My point that I'll be making today is that Isabel, she's been this like mayor's secretary, regardless of who's sitting in the mayor's seat, and she is fed up with his shit, and so she stabbed him a whole bunch with a fishing rod or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. Puncture
Todd,
wounds.
the best detective.
Book them away, toys.
Well, Todd, I don't want to disagree with your cold hard facts of suspecting the person who did it the least.
Wait, is that what he's doing? I wasn't clear.
I'll say if I say it 2 more times, I get a free pizza at Pizza Hut.
Oh, well, let's make that happen for Todd.
Man, the book it program has really evolved.
Yeah, it's really gone off the rails. Child literacy is a real problem in our country.
However, I'm here to let you guys know the puncture wounds seem to be all post-mortem to throw us off the scent of the real cold-eyed killer, none other than the barista store owner Brewster the Pigeon. And I believe he killed the mayor with a poisoned cup of coffee.
And then stabbed him just for fun.
Wait, where'd those puncture wounds come from?
I told you they were done after
Circumstantial.
the fact to hide the true cause of death.
Brewster was throwing him off.
With
Yeah.
what? What did he get stabbed with?
With what? Just a bagel cutting knife.
A fishing rod?
No,
Were they
cutting
fishing
knife?
rod shaped?
absolutely not a fishing rod, but the knife Brewster uses to cut the pastries in his in the Roost, the name of his establishment.
Is that the actual name of the establishment?
It is,
Can confirm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good. And
which is
so-
great
so
because it was
lack of
also the
effort.
name of the spot at our college we all three attended
Amazing.
that took
Well,
all
there's-
our money every year.
There's four
of us went
That's
there.
fine.
Yeah, I'm
4
mad
of
at
us.
you. 4 of us went there.
Child literacy and math are both lacking in the United States, and we need
I
help.
love that Matt immediately assumes that he was the one that was taken out or removed from that.
I absolutely do assume that I was the one.
Oh,
And I
so
hate it
funny.
because Kyle is the only one who was in college with all 4 of us.
It's fine. I didn't
That's
I didn't
true.
intend to leave anyone out. I just can't count today or ever, but that's a personal problem.
No free Pizza Hut pizzas for you, Kyle.
Guys, you are all thinking about this the wrong way. This was not a murder. This was a suicide.
Huh.
Okay, well, it was technically a murder, but we'll get to that. Either way, I believe
Suicided themselves straight into that fountain with all those puncture wounds.
I believe this was a self-fishing. No, I believe that Mayor Tortimer's wounds were self-inflicted. Autopsy revealed no signs of struggle because there was no struggle. Did I say strungle?
You did
Just
say
say
struggle.
struggle. We were all gonna let you
Definitely
slide.
did.
Strungle in the jungle, y'all. There was no struggle. Mayor Tortimer decided to end his own life. So the next question is why? True, he had no record of mental instability. People close to him had no reason to think he was suicidal, so it doesn't add up. I believe that someone pushed the victim to the brink. This person used some ungodly power to incite these harmful thoughts and virtually warp the mayor's entire sense of reality. And before the night is over, I will prove to you that it could only be one person. The sociopathic psychologist / comedian, Dr. Shrunk.
So I
Okay,
just
can-
Googled
Myself, 'cause
Dr.
no one else did it
Shrunk.
for me.
Yeah, tell me what you found there, because I don't know who this is.
I think that it might be an axolotl.
It's an axolotl.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I gotta give him credit. This animation makes axolotl come across very well. There's no question in my mind that this is an axolotl.
That word needs more consonants.
The question, the question in my mind is, why in the world did they choose an axolotl out of all of the animals? Why did they make this thing?
Matt, if you say axolotl one more time, you get your free Pizza Hut pizza.
Axolotl.
Oh, that is that word.
I assumed until Matt looked him up and pointed it out that Dr. Shrunk was going to be a skunk, and I don't know why Animal Crossing did me dirty like that.
They already had it. They already had a skunk. He sells shoes.
Oh,
That's true.
and there can only be one character of each species of animal in Animal Crossing.
As long as they're actually, yes,
No. Celeste
No?
the owl.
unless they're
there's-
married.
There's 2 owls who live in the museum together. I think
Are they
they're
related?
brother and sister, maybe.
Okay.
I think the rule is they have to be related. Like
They
the
get a
alpacas
pass.
are married.
Oh yeah.
The Nooks are brother or father and sons. Yeah, I think
There's,
they have to be related.
3 hedgehog sisters who make clothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad we
Dr.
cleared that
Shrunk.
up. Axolotl.
Well, now that we've gotten all of your ridiculous accusations aside, it is time to bring to light the true killer. Because of all of your bullshit ideas with your bullshit weapons that could absolutely never stab a turtle, there is one person in town who always carries around something that could put puncture wounds in a turtle shell, and that is none other than Mr. Rossetti and that sweet, sweet pickaxe that he brandishes at you every time you reset your game. Clearly the murderer, clearly the angriest character to ever be in an Animal Crossing game, clearly the one that took out the previous mayor, and I'll tell you exactly why as we roll along. But all of your ideas are bullshit. I'm right. It's Mr. Rossetti with the pickaxe. Maybe in the foyer. I don't know if that part is part of this game.
Oh, we'll see. I gotta say one thing about Mr. Rossetti is that as you guys were introducing your suspects, I opened up the Google in a new tab for each of them so that I could get a photo to know kind of who I'm working with, right? And in Googling each of these individuals and also Mayor Tortimer, the only one who, instead of immediately having a animalcrossing.fandom.com page, has an actual Wikipedia page is Mr. Rossetti.
Oh,
Good.
man.
So I'm not sure what's up with that.
I'm not surprised. He is fairly iconic.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at Mr. Rossetti, that's a murdery looking motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
that guy murders. You can't look at that
He
guy and
murders.
not assume that he murders.
I like to think of Rossetti as like he's like the town weirdo that everybody just kind of knows. Like he lives in like I don't know, like a ram shack up under the highway, and like anytime something happens, the sheriff is immediately at that guy's place, but it's never actually that guy.
I've got Mr. Rossetti figured out to a T, and he's actually the crazy old guy who like is trying to go off the grid, and whenever you like try
yeah.
and spark up a conversation with him, he immediately dives into whatever conspiracy theory he's set on that day.
He's got big tiny house energy.
He's wound very, very tightly, and is prone to believe any conspiracy as long as it involves the government being out to get him. And fluoride in
I
the
remember the first time I like, because everyone reset their Animal Crossing game at some point and like dealt with
course.
that.
Mhm.
And I did it, I remember by accident the first time, and then I really freaked out because like this guy showed up and told you about breaking rules and how the timelines would cross and everything would blow up, or whatever it was that he guilted you with. But
More
I
or
remember at one point, if you reset your game enough, he made you type in like "I am stupid." Like you had to literally type
Yeah,
it in
I
before
remember
you could
that.
play your game again. And I was like, all right, here I am in 9th grade, and I feel bad all of a sudden.
I have two more points on Mr. Rossetti. One, apparently his first name is Sonny.
It is
And-
indeed.
And two, there is 100% tinfoil under his construction worker's cap. That's all I've got.
I remember my first encounter with Mr. Rossetti. I had my house growing up, my childhood home, I guess, had one of those light switch situations where if the light switch was flicked off, the power in the room would also turn off.
Oh, good.
So
That's what you want.
yeah. So I was playing Animal Crossing and my mom accidentally leaned against the light switch, turning the game off. And I was like already kind of upset because, like, you know, that sucks. And then I turned the game back on and Mr. Rossetti started yelling at me for something that was not
You
my
get
fault.
berated by this insane mole.
It would not be the first or last time that my mom would let me down.
Oh, I didn't know we were talking about those things today. I didn't bring that kind of energy to this episode.
I really expected you to say it would not be the first or last time I was berated by a mole, and that took a much different turn than I expected it to.
Anyway, now that we've talked about murder weapons, we need to narrow down our list of suspects. There are so many villagers here in town, but surely only a few of them would directly benefit from the death of our beloved former mayor. So you've all presented your head suspects to me. Head suspects? Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Yep.
You've all presented your head
lead
suspects to me.
suspects, unsubs, if we're using.
Unsubs. You've all told me who you think done it. Now is your chance to justify that. What do you think gives each of your suspects motivation to have committed such a heinous crime?
Yeah, so for Isabel, who is, might I say, someone that you don't directly suspect. Isabel, she's not one for confrontation. And okay, so Isabel has been sitting on the sidelines for a long time. Perhaps too long. She's been stuck as the assistant to whatever rogue child mayor gets placed into the seat of the mayor in this town. And so now that it just happens to be Mayor Tortimer in this pocket dimension of Animal Crossing, he just took it too far this year. So first, Mayor Tortimer skimped on the New Year's bonuses. Then he cut out summer hours. And lastly, he forgot about Administrative Assistant Day. And that was just too much for a simple overworked Shih Tzu and a sensible cardigan to take. And so I'm here to tell you, boys, Isabel broke bad. And by bad, I mean Tortimer's neck. She broke Tortimer's neck
With a fishing rod?
With a fishing rod.
Well,
stabbed him.
I'm kind of with Kyle on he could have already been dead, and then she just stabbed him a lot. I don't know. It's a silly thing we're doing here. I don't know.
I'm not on Crime Library right this second, but does that happen often? Are there a lot of murders that they just stab incoherently after?
I mean,
Unconfirmed
death?
sources say it happens about 60% of the time.
Thank you, Kyle.
I've watched a lot of Law and Order SVU. A lot. And let me tell you, weird shit happens to bodies after people die.
All right.
I wish people would have talked after I said that.
Nope. we left you out on that ledge.
I think in Todd's defense there is a major plot point in the first couple of seasons, I think, of How to Get Away with Murder, having to do with like post-mortem puncture wounds. So I think there's some validity to that.
Yeah. I totally knew that.
Yeah.
100%. That's what Todd was going for. Not the plot from Zootopia at all.
This wasn't just a stab in the dark.
Oh.
Also, I just figured out my super secret bonus question, and you guys are gonna scream. I'm not gonna tell you what it is now, but I'm so excited.
Well, Todd, I'm Detective Thomas. There we go.
Yeah.
Detective Thomas, I regret to inform you how incorrect you are.
No, it's Detective Todd. My dad is Detective Thomas.
Detective Thomas is my father.
Yeah, they call my father Detective Thomas.
Detective Todd, unfortunately, you couldn't be more wrong because the murderer is clearly the shrewd business bird Brewster, who will do and has done whatever it takes to put the roost on top. It was in this climb to the top that Brewster found a fantastic coffee enhancer he only refers to as pigeon milk. And if that doesn't immediately make you suspicious,
I don't like that.
then you're not paying attention. His customers, however, really love the new additive. They've asked him multiple times what pigeon milk is, and with that, Brewster only gives a very coy response of, it's a family secret. Unfortunately for that secrecy, town laws dictate that all ingredients in all restaurants be disclosed, and the mayor found out that pigeon milk is really just sugar and cream mixed with trace amounts of cocaine to get his customers more hooked to
that's better
his
than I thought.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going somewhere blue.
Yeah, you all
same.
did, and you were wrong. It's just illicit drugs.
Oh, I gotta love Brewster for being wholesome.
So the mayor very reasonably gave Brewster the option of removing pigeon milk from the menu before threatening to shut him down. And Brewster, not wanting to lose that competitive edge, refused, and rather than letting himself be shut down by the mayor, killed him dead.
That's an interesting turn. It's a bold move.
He's hoping the secret dies with Tortimer, and he can, because Isabel is hooked to the pigeon milk coffee.
Isabel does love cocaine.
Yeah.
That's canon.
Yeah, lines of it.
So she would be the next person in line that would want to shut him down, but isn't going to look too hard because she is hooked on that sweet, sweet pigeon milk.
Sure. Just a quick question. So you said he had to disclose the secret ingredient. So you're in scenario, he discloses the ingredient to Tortimer first.
Yes, it's a small town. There aren't many
Tortimer
ladders
is
on the hierarchy.
judge, jury, and executioner, as well as the FDA.
Yes, 100%.
As it should be, really. Give one person all the power, sort of a Leviathan situation.
That is quite the utopia.
I didn't set up the town. I can't explain to you why it's set up that way, but Tortimer has all the power, and as far as food and drug regulations go, yes.
Okay.
And Brewster not having it, being a shrewd libertarian, too, lashed out and punished this example of government overreach.
Well, if there was one libertarian in this group, it'd be Mr. Rossetti.
Oh, Mr. Rossetti, you don't want to know Mr. Rossetti's political alignments,
Yeah, I don't think it's libertarian.
but he'll tell you.
What was the guy? What was the British guy that wore the bucket on his head and yelled a whole bunch in a weird voice in Parliament? I want him.
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
Buckethead.
Yeah, it was Lord Buckethead.
Buckethead is the guitarist of Guns N' Roses for a minute after stopping his solo career. He wasn't in British Parliament.
Lord Buckethead. You uncultured swine.
But have we seen them in the same place at once?
They wear different buckets.
Yeah,
Wow, that's fair.
that's a good point. I hate that that's a good point, but it's a good point.
All right, I'm going to talk about Dr. Shrunk now because this is the only right answer.
Vermin Supreme is the guy you're thinking of, Todd.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Vermin Supreme. That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Vermin Love Supreme. Go ahead. Sorry,
All
Andrew.
right.
I needed to
Dr.
know that
Shrunk.
mystery.
Talk about Frasier.
So, despite the fact that he has served for years as the town's only mental health professional and our only actual medical professional at that, Dr. Shrunk felt the need to start moonlighting as a comedian at the seedy Club LOL on the north side of town. You can find him there most nights, hobnobbing with the riffraff and telling his filthy jokes. Well, you see, Club LOL hasn't been doing so well. It seems their nightly entertainment hasn't been putting the butts in the seats as well as it used to. The good doctor has been performing for an empty room night after night. So the mayor here decided it was time to give old Club LOL the boot to allow for a more wholesome and successful business to fill its place. Dr. Shrunk didn't like that. No, he didn't like that one bit. One could say that made him mad, even. You guys don't know what Dr.
Nope.
Shrunk's deal is, so that
Nope,
didn't hit.
No,
Okay.
I really didn't.
Wait,
didn't
was
land.
I supposed to react to that?
Well, here's the deal. So Dr. Shrunk's whole thing is he can control people's emotions. He taps into his dark magic by teaching people how to feel a certain emotion, and then he can recall that emotion like some twisted hypnotist.
Is that real? Is that like a real in-game thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah, you learn emotes from Dr. Shrunk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And you have to pay him to unlock those emotions.
Thank you, Police Chief. Thank you, Police Chief Nook, for the validation.
Andrew, I think you're confused. We're recording our Joker episode in next weekend.
Well, it's funny because there are a lot of similarities, Kyle. So thank you for proving my point. Is when Tortimer did shut the club down, Shrunk used his dark powers to teach Mayor Tortimer things like despair, pain, and regret. All those things mashed together in the poor victim's brain like some slurry of sadness. Tortimer couldn't take it anymore and opted for the sweet release of death. And in the end, it was Shrunk who would have the last laugh.
Cue laugh gif.
Yeah.
The Slurry of Sadness was my favorite Harry Potter book. Andrew, I'm curious. You mentioned that Tortimer closed down Club LOL and brought in some more wholesome entertainment. I'm really curious about what that wholesome entertainment might be.
Well, it was actually the Happy Home Society was growing their north town branch, north uptown branch. Stuck the landing.
Nope. Leave him be. Leave him there.
Definitely did.
Leave him out there by himself.
Everyone saw it. Perfect 10 out of 10. Moving on.
Yeah, no, Kyle, thanks for the segue. It's a great time to move on and prove all of you wrong. Because Tortimer is clearly the thing that changed Mr. Rossetti's life and his role in Animal Crossing Village forever. Everybody take a journey with me back to 2012, the year that Mayor Tortimer retired, and also the year that we found out that the Rossetti Surveillance Center was shut down. By
This
who?
is my favorite part. This is my favorite part when Matt tells us a game that we all know, but he just learned and he pretends like no one knows it.
I really love the idea that it is canon that it was in 2012 that Mayor Tortimer retired.
In the year of our Lord 2012.
Why do you guys have to do this to me? Why do you gotta leave me out like this?
It's because you're the sweet
Have
baby
you listened
brother.
to this podcast, Matt?
Yeah.
It's because you're a little small baby.
God damn it. Tom,
a
we were
babby.
born the same year. Get your shit out of here. All right, let me
You can't prove that.
let me go back to spinning,
Show me the birth
spinning my
certificate.
weave here.
The long form one too.
So the Rossetti
Speaking of 2012,
the Rossetti Surveillance Center was shut down clearly by Mayor Tortimer. I don't know why, because he's an asshole. I haven't played the game, I just read the Wikipedia. So, the surveillance center was completely shut down. Mr. Rossetti now has to ask people if they want to be berated by him or not. He can't just watch over them all the time. His surveillance center was reduced to a public work that people have to choose to fund, and Lord knows Mr. Rossetti is way too conservative to be into people taxing his way into business. So it's bad times all around. What better way to prove the necessity of a full-on surveillance state than straight up murder? So Mr. Rossetti, clearly
Some good clean murder.
Clearly driven to the point where he needed to prove his worth to the Animal Crossing village, snuck out late at night when he knew no one would be watching, because who's the only surveillance system? Mr. Rossetti. Pops out of a little manhole cover right by the fountain, stabs the crap out of the mayor with a pickaxe, throws him in the fountain, and then who should be the first to discover it but Mr. Rossetti? And everybody realizes that we need a surveillance system, but the surveillance system wasn't set up when the murder happened because Tortimer shut it down. But now there's a surveillance system, and Mr. Rossetti can go around murdering whoever he wants to because he's the one who gets all the tapes.
You're saying someone would fake a tragedy to prove their worth?
You're saying it's a false flag operation?
Oh, shut up, everyone.
Yes to both? Yes to both.
You know, I've got to give credit to any government agent who is willing to shut down a government surveillance system in 2019, because that is not the trend.
No, it certainly isn't.
So if that ends up being true, which I don't think it will be, I'm pretty sure it's still Brewster over his government overreach. Kudos to Tortimer making his last political move such a bucking the trend, so to speak.
Well, I mean, he was the mayor and probably made a boatload of bells as the mayor and then retired, and he doesn't want people to know what he's doing in his retirement. He wanted to disappear. He wanted to ghost, and so he shut down the surveillance system like any corrupt politician would.
He wanted to reset the game as many times as he needed to, unimpeded.
Exactly.
So Mr. Rossetti did a false flag operation.
So I will challenge that, because Tortimer did in fact retire, and he retired off, like, out of the city. He moved off to his own island with all of the money that he has, and now just invites people to come be tourists on his island so he can make more money.
Yeah.
I hate
There's
it.
a few holes in your story there, Matt.
So I don't know how concerned he would be at that point with surveillance in the city.
Well, because, we find out that the mayor, according to the Wikipedia that I read, we found out that Tortimer retired the same time that we found out that the surveillance system had been shut down, which leads one to believe that the surveillance system was shut down before he retired.
Yes, but in our universe, in this universe that we're playing in right this minute, Tortimer was until recently the mayor, never actually retired. So
Did we clarify that? Is that a thing we clarified?
No, I called him former Mayor
Yeah,
Tortimer.
suck it, Andrew. Get your timeline bullshit out of here. My shit still works.
Everyone knows the current mayor is Pete Buttigieg. All right. So now that we've got our suspects and our murder weapons figured out, we need to figure out how they got away with it. Who else knew it was happening? What sort of accomplices were involved? And how is it possible nobody in town heard any of it happening? Was he killed someplace far away from the fountain and then dragged there later while nobody was looking? There's just so many variables, and that's why I only gave one. Detectives, please present your theories about how this all went down.
So, Isabel, right? Being the least likely and also now the most likely. Have I mentioned that yet, Tom?
Couple times.
All right, good. For years, she's just been taking the mayor's shit. It's no secret that all of the townsfolk are tired of Mayor Tortimer's unnecessary festivals, his high taxation, largely to pay for said festivals, I imagine, and allowing Tom Nook to run his in-town furniture real estate racket for far too long, right? So the thing is, Isabel didn't even need to be quiet about it, because in the end, Isabel walked right up behind him at the Feast of the Fabulous Wild Men Day, which is December 1st, if you're curious what day that festival falls on. And Nope. Sure, I can say it again. Feast of the Fabulous Wild Men Day, December 1st.
Wild men?
Wild
Like
men.
Wild
Yeah.
men?
Well, so they were throwing a festival for that because this is what happens in Weird Animal Crossing Town. And
January 12th.
We've established that it is South
mine said
Bend,
December
Todd.
1st. I guess we'll celebrate it twice. It's fine. Anyway, she rapidly prison shanked him with a broken fiberglass fishing pole in broad daylight for everyone to see. And you know what, Tom? Not a single townsperson said a word as Isabel scooped up his still writhing body into her pocket dimension pocket to suffocate and then rolled him into the fountain for all to see. As a reminder,
Yikes.
it's a reminder to all of what happens when capitalism is left unchecked to run rampant in our society. And you know what, Tom? This town knows what happened, and we're not talking to no cops about nothing, pigs. We're not doing it.
All right, Detective Todd, you might need to lay off the cough syrup.
You're drinking too much of that pigeon's milk, Detective Todd.
He's gone full Pepe Silvia over here.
I want you guys to know that I'm taking notes while you're answering me so that I can figure out who's correct at the end of this. And I just wrote a note that just says, "What the fuck is Todd talking about?" But also, I love it.
You know what? How long ago was the mayor murdered? What, a couple days ago? Something like that? Why is
Yeah.
that body still in the fountain, Tom?
I-
Don't you think we would have, like, documented that and gotten it out? You think it's not intentional that it's still there?
I don't know.
We only have one police officer in this whole town, so.
There's two,
There are two.
Cooper and Booker. And we ain't talking to neither of them.
False flag.
My favorite punk band.
I'm not gonna lie. If any of you guys had brought one of the cops as a potential murder suspect, I would have just given it to you right away because, as previously established, all cops are bastards.
Yeah.
Hey.
There it is. We're here for that.
So Todd, Detective Todd, you keep insisting that it is the person you least suspect when everyone knows it is the person you most medium suspect.
We got it.
That being said, it is still definitely Brewster, and I have the motive.
And the pounds of cocaine to prove it.
and the mountain of cocaine he left behind. We've already figured out the motive. I'm sorry. This is how he got away with it. So, even though the mayor had given him his ultimatum and knew about the malicious nature of pigeon milk, he did not know Brewster was going to take it so hard. He thought that they'd reach an agreement, just stop selling the citizens of South Bend cocaine and everything will be fine. He is the mayor. The mayor's a busy job. You still need to get your coffee in the morning, and he likes to, use that walk to the roost to check in on the daily goings on of the town. So, not suspecting that Brewster had ill intent and needing his morning cup of joe, Mayor Tortimer went into the roost, ordered a cup of coffee, and Brewster offered him a cup on the house as a, no hard feelings, let bygones be bygones. But he slipped in a little extra for him, an extra strength dose of the pigeon milk, just enough,
It's creamy.
just enough to shut down the poor old mayor's heart. And the mayor took his cup of coffee, left, drank it in his office, and died. And Brewster
Ran in and stabbed him a whole
Stabbed
bunch.
him a bunch.
ran in and stabbed him a whole bunch, so no one would look into the actual cause of death, which was a whole lot of cocaine.
A small mountain of cocaine.
in the poor old turtle's body.
As Brewster punctured his lung, just cocaine shot out of his chest.
It was like a fog machine while he was stabbing, and just all the cocaine coming
Oh my
out.
god.
It seems really stupid to me to poison someone and then try to cover up the fact that you committed murder by stabbing them a bunch of times yourself.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for a little bit of gain.
Also, usually you get an accomplice for that kind of thing. I don't know.
Tortimer put Brewster put
works alone,
the
and
shop's closed sign
and he
and
leaves
walked
no
over
stone
there.
unturned.
It's like he doesn't mind if we find out that he's a murderer. He just doesn't want us to know that he knows how to poison.
He wants to keep selling the cocaine in the coffee. That's what it is.
Take me to jail, but please keep my lucrative coffee business running.
I guess if there was one Animal Crossing NPC who would just be have a back room where they saw legs in half, it's probably Brewster.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Again, I cite his cold dead eyes.
He does have some cold dead eyes.
That's all I got. He OD'd on secret cocaine milk and then was stabbed as a cover up. Those are the facts.
Well, I can't answer your question with cocaine, but I can answer it with black magic.
One
So-
and the same, really. Two sides of the same coin.
It just depends on, what you believe is to be real. We already know how Strunk can insert himself into others' consciousness. In Animal Crossing New Leaf, for example, it's established that the first emotion he teaches people is shyness. So this is basically his bread and butter. Look, I've asked around. Before Strunk came into town, villagers didn't hide in their houses. People congregated outside. They walked around town, did their own chores. But ever since the doctor came to town, people got suspiciously bashful. The villagers were going to bed and locking their doors early at night, almost like they were embarrassed to be seen. What happened on the night of Tortimer's murder is not unlike what's been happening every night since this sycophant moved here. He used his powers to teach the townsfolk to immediately withdraw into their homes. Then he could do his dirty magic completely unopposed. From there, you've already heard it, however, how it goes. He taught Tortimer how to feel pain, sadness, regret, and shame. Tortimer couldn't stand hearing all of the voices, couldn't stand all of that torment. He walked out on his back patio. He took the only thing he knew that he had, which was his little kitchen knife, and just ended it right there. And the blow sent him back. He fell into the river. Lo and behold, that's why we saw him here today.
He was stabbed multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, then probably because Brewster came and stabbed his dead corpse afterward.
Are you suggesting that Brewster and Dr. Shrunk maybe worked together?
No, I think Brewster's just really into stabbing.
You wouldn't be wrong there.
Two things about Brewster: loves some coffee, into the stabbing game.
2A, he loves cocaine as well.
His pastimes are cocaine and stabbing. I do want to give you kudos for you rolled through Tortimer's murder in that last paragraph very smoothly, and that's a hard 2-word phrase to say.
It really is, yeah.
It's not easy.
Well, Andrew, it was really cool of you to map the superpowers of the Ghost Rider onto an Animal Crossing character.
No.
But that is not what happened here. Although
That is our first Ghost Rider reference this Halloween season, and it
Ding.
won't be our last.
certainly will
It
not.
better not.
Actually, I referenced Ghost Rider in the last sidebar, so that's kind of makes 2.
That's not a Halloween episode though, Matt.
That's true.
So
Um,
pump the brakes.
Anyway, let's talk about what really happened. While Todd thinks it is the person you least expect, and Kyle thinks it is the person you medium expect, listen, if it looks like a mole and sounds like a mole, and by mole I mean pickaxe, and if it looks like a pickaxe and the holes in the turtle shell look like a pickaxe, it's probably a pickaxe, and that pickaxe probably belongs to Mr. Rossetti. But remember, Big Brother is always watching you, and by Big Brother, I mean none other than Mr. Rossetti's big brother, Donnie Rossetti. The only other person who has access to the surveillance center, the only other person who could have been watching out and making sure that no one discovered Sonny Rossetti pickaxing the crap out of former Mayor Tortimer. Jesus, that is hard to say. Former Mayor Tortimer. Sonny Rossetti, Mr. Rossetti, was protected by his big brother as he snuck up on Mayor Tortimer in his retirement and pickaxed him into oblivion, and then drug him into the fountain and tossed him in there for the whole town to discover in the morning, just to prove that Sonny and Donnie's Rossetti Surveillance Center needs to stay open and needs to be fully funded. So, in one foul night, in one easy swoop, the Rossetti brothers made sure that no one was paying any attention and then just stabbed the shit out of the former mayor. It's that easy. There's no crazy shit going on here. There's no cocaine and coffee. There's no crazy mind control. And it definitely wasn't the soft-spoken secretary with the big pockets. It was simple.
Who you don't ever expect.
It was simple. It was easy. He got pickaxed to death by the angry mole guy.
Hey, Matt, I've got a question.
Sure, Todd.
Mr. Rossetti, who hurt him?
That's a great question, Todd.
And that's maybe an open question for everyone. Who hurt Mr. Rossetti?
Oh man, that's actually the super secret bonus question.
What made him this way?
It's big government, Todd.
I'm coming to take it down. It's fine.
Wait, I'm Todd. I'm sorry. I'm so lost. Is this version of you anti-government or pro? Because you're really waffling, my dude.
No, Isabel is taking down the stranglehold of capitalism on our society, so that we, the people, can run the town. No more random mayors coming in off trains. We leave the body in the fountain for a sign for all to see.
You want to get rid of big government and then funnel all the effort into small business? I don't understand how that's not capitalism.
It's community. We're doing it together. The people know the body's in the fountain for all
He's
to know.
He's seizing the means of production from the mayor, Andrew,
Yes.
and redistributing them to the people.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Would Mr. Rossetti want to carry a hammer and a sickle by chance? Is that a thing?
The lab results came back and they weren't pickaxe wounds. They were sickle wounds.
There you go.
His pickaxe is not that dissimilar to a sickle. I'm sure he
Stop
would make
it.
that choice.
It's not just a coincidence that everyone calls each other comrade in town. It's fine.
Oh, they do that.
I legit had mine do that in the N64 or the GameCube version. All right, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's our game today, Todd, is just letting you say weird things and leaving you out to hang with them.
Thanks.
So
Shouldn't have taken that cough medicine before I did this episode. That's all right. It's only happened once before.
You did channel Ayn Rand there for a minute, which was really fun.
All right, detectives. Now it's time for the super secret bonus question. I thought about this one a lot, and I'm going to ask you, and then we'll go to a promo break.
you definitely thought about it more than any of us thought about the cases
so
we're
excited.
working on.
Confirmed.
I literally got so excited when I realized that I could ask this. It's become kind of a tradition that whenever there's a grisly murder or, say, a serial killer rises to fame and popularity, Netflix eventually does an adaptation about them. Whether it's a sexy Jeffrey Dahmer or, a sexy Ted Bundy or, a sexy third serial killer that I'm blanking on right now. Netflix
Sexy
can
Michael
always
Peterson
be
is what
counted
you were
on.
thinking of.
Michael Keaton. What?
Michael Peterson, the staircase
Michael
guy.
Peterson. Oh yeah, that's right.
That weird author, staircase.
Anyway, my super secret bonus question for you, and this is going to count for a lot of points toward finding out who the winner is. Which sexy teen heartthrob would play your suspect in the Netflix adaptation of this murder?
Yes.
We'll give you guys some time to think about it while we cut to a promo break.
Hey guys, Andrew and Todd here. Just want to let you all know we're going to be at the Portland Retro Game Festival, or Portland Retro Gaming Expo, October 18th through the 20th. So that's a Friday through Sunday. It's going to be at the Oregon Convention Center in Portland, Oregon.
And so Andrew and I, we have a table. We're going to have some of our Debate This merch. We're going to have probably a special Expo exclusive question that you can come give your feedback on. But if nothing else, we will be there. We'll be there to answer your questions. We'll be there to argue some of your favorite topics, the things you've liked, things you haven't liked. But like I said, we're going to be there. We'll have some stickers, some buttons, all that good merch. And plus, our lovely faces.
Which is quite possibly the best thing.
The
you
true
can come
gift.
True gift.
That and the gift of friendship.
It's the most powerful thing they say. But seriously, the Portland show is so much fun. I actually went last year just for fun. There's a huge arcade that you can go and just play games for free. There are a ton of vendors. The Angry Video Game Nerd's going to be there. The Retronauts are going to be there. Retronauts are a huge inspiration for me. That's another retro gaming podcast. Definitely, if you're in the West Coast, if you're in the area, come check it out. It is an absolute blast.
Please come find us if you want to talk about what it's like to play the Untitled Goose Game, because I am the naughtiest goose, and I want to hear about how naughty other people are.
All right, again, that's going to be the Portland Retro Gaming Expo at the Oregon Convention Center, Portland, Oregon, October 18th through the 20th. See you later.
Nice.
And we're back. How was your little promo break, guys? Did you have a lot of time to think? Are you feeling really good about it? Are you feeling ready to answer a question?
Oh, I've definitely cast Sexy Brewster, the serial killer, drug lord serial killer in that ad break.
I have the 50 hottest men of all time as declared by Harper's Bazaar up. Does that count? Is that anything?
I gotta say, Andrew, if yours isn't Kelsey Grammer, I'm leaving.
Ooh.
All
It
right,
wasn't,
guys.
but it could be.
Now's your chance. Who would Netflix cast to play your suspect in the Netflix adaptation of this murder? Stupid question.
My choice for Isabel is not a sexy teen heartthrob, but she's a very good option. So the role of a somewhat likely Shih Tzu secretary who murders her boss in cold blood, done in a tasteful Netflix limited run series, will be played by none other than the heartthrob Megan Mullally. She is going to play Isabel, who brutally murders the mayor, and then she in effect is then like, and everyone listen up, that's just how it is now. He's dead. We're running this ourselves, and if you don't like it, that's when she dumps him into the pond or into the.
Are we
thing.
talking like Tammy 2 Megan Mullally?
It
or
is
like
Tammy 2
Karen
Megan
from Will and
Mullally.
Grace? Okay.
No, it is
okay.
Tammy 2 Megan Mullally. A little crazy. A little crazy.
Yeah, not interesting take. Not really the personality at all. Probably the exact opposite of Isabel's personality, but okay.
See, you weren't reading through the lines of her as a character. I don't think you really fully explored her potential, and that's on you.
Okay, I'll take that on. You're right. I'm sorry.
That's your fault, not Todd's.
No, it's not me. That's you.
It's
That's
not
you.
Todd's bad casting. It's your misunderstanding of the character.
Mhm.
I gotta say, I really love Megan Mullally for that part. I do have to say that any bonus points I might have given you for that are immediately lost by the fact that she is neither a teen nor a heartthrob.
Would it make it better if in the end that Nick Offerman ends up playing Tom Nook in the recasting of this?
There's nothing I want more.
That would actually be very good.
That would be very good.
He's making the furniture and selling it at a price that he deems reasonable.
Although I don't love the headcanon you've created where Isabel and Tom Nook are fucking.
It's not good.
I'm
It's
not
not
super
good.
into
It's
it.
there now. It's not good though.
Yeah.
To move on from the very uncomfortable situation Todd has put us in, as seems to be his MO this
Let's
episode.
talk about a pigeon that does cocaine coffee.
Yeah.
Way more
Stop calling the
comfortable.
kettle black.
So my sexy teen heartthrob pigeon barista cocaine lord will be played in the Netflix special by none other than Welsh actor Taron Egerton, as you might know him from the Kingsman series, or he recently played Elton John in Rocket Man. But he is the perfect casting to play our quiet, reserved barista with a dark history and a dark motives behind those cold dead glasses.
And a pension for stabbing.
And a penchant for stabbing.
I have a very strange complaint about this casting.
I have one too. I'll get in line behind you.
All right,
You're in the
I don't
club.
know how much weight mine is going to carry, but I'm looking at a Google image search of Brewster from Animal Crossing. I'm also looking at a Google image search of Taron Egerton, and what I am noticing is that Taron Egerton's jawline is way too strong to be the no-neck creation that Brewster from Animal Crossing is.
I was going more for the reserved Britishness of Brewster, and Taron Egerton's jaw is just explained away by the sexing up of the character for the Netflix special.
Got it. Okay. Todd, what's your complaint?
So when I look at Brewster, I automatically compare him to Sam Eagle from the Muppets. They're just two like anthropomorphized birds that look
Blue
the same.
anthropomorphized birds.
Yeah, and the only human being
That sounds
I can
pretty
see
racist, Todd.
Yeah, well, it's pretty narrow casting there because they're the only two large birds that I know that's not Big Bird. Anyway, I immediately think that the only human being that could play Sam Eagle is the brother from Everybody Loves Raymond. So
Brad Garrett.
I'm stuck. Yeah, that's a name.
Why did I know that so quickly?
That's weird.
He is neither a teen nor a heartthrob, though,
Okay,
Todd.
well,
and I know that didn't matter to you and your answer.
Right on the
but it
first
mattered-
count, wrong
it
on the
mattered
second
to
count.
mine. Good.
Tortimer.
I disagree. Ma.
Brad Garrett. Deborah.
Why did people love that series?
It
Why
was a
did
different
people
time.
love Raymond?
That was literally what Brad Garrett's character asked every episode.
Wait,
It was just him on screen going, "Why do you love him?"
So hang on. Is Brad Garrett your choice for Brewster in the end?
No, that was
No.
Todd's answer. It's still
Okay,
Taylor
well,
Egerton,
okay.
the sexy teen heartthrob.
I gotta say, so the two kind of thoughts I had for Brewster were Timothy Chalamet, but then when you mentioned the thing about the jawline, I thought, no, it's got to be someone a little dupier looking, and that's when I landed on Michael Cera.
Michael Cera is good. I very much wanted a British actor and couldn't find one with a weaker jaw in the time allotted. I leaned into the sexy teenness of it with Terry.
Is Michael Cera still a sexy teen?
Michael Cera will be a sexy teen for the rest of his life.
Will always be
I
a
think
sexy
Michael
kid.
Cera is older than Matt at this point.
Well, so is everybody.
God damn it.
Well-
I do think that Michael Cera is older than me, but I'm not sure he was ever a sexy teen.
Okay, again, you're allowed to have your own wrong opinions.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree here.
You clearly didn't watch that movie where he hung out with himself with a mustache.
I don't think that I did.
Oh, Michael Cera was born in 1988.
Wow.
Yeah, he's old. Wait, Matt, you're 93 too, yeah?
Yes.
What month are you?
August.
Oh shit, you're older than me.
Bam!
Oh, Tom's the young one.
Shit,
Get him.
I'm not
Get
the
him.
young one. Holy shit. This is the best day of this podcast ever. This is it. We can quit
Too bad that's
now.
gonna get cut in post.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom, but we've got continuity to keep in the show. And we can't have you revealing secrets like that.
We'd have to go and change the wiki.
I have kids. We can just bump me up to 30. We'll
I
just
mean,
pretend.
that's
fair.
seriously what it is you have kids, so you're older than all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true.
very true.
and broker.
I want to talk about Dr. Shrunk some more. Can I do
Oh,
that?
well, that sounds
Always.
I
like
suppose.
Okay, so I've got two, and I'll tell you why. So, Dr. Shrunk is an axolotl. Axolotls kind of look like lizards, so we need an actor who kind of looks like a lizard, which is of course Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, that would have been another time to put in friend of the show, Rami Malek too, though. So
No.
yes.
We have to go a different direction. So I'm going to tell you why it's Benedict Cumberbatch because I know he's not a sexy teen. So it is canon that Dr. Shrunk has a wife and kids. A wife who quote treats him badly, according to the wiki. I think there's some off comments on and there's some comments that he makes and jokes that they've been married for quite some time. So we have to assume that he is older. And since we just established that having kids means you're 30, he is at least post 30. So I would pose that Benedict Cumberbatch plays the current state version of Dr. Shrunk. But we're definitely, because this is a sexy Netflix adaptation, we're gonna do some flashbacks because we got to get that origin story. We got to get all that childhood trauma, teenage trauma. So
Do we?
we do.
Oh.
So I would pose that we cast Freddie Highmore, who's known as Norman Bates in Bates Motel.
Ah,
saw that?
yeah, all right.
Ooh.
Yeah, as our flashback Shrunk, which again we've already seen him play someone who's a little off, a little sociopathic, someone who's not all quite there, but on the surface has it all kind of built together. The perfect, if you will, serial killer, which is of course what we've established is Dr. Shrunk. So there you go.
All right.
All right, Matt.
Well, there is clearly only one actor capable of taking Mr. Rossetti to Netflix fame, and it is
If it's not Danny DeVito, you're kicked off the show.
Fuck you, Kyle. Of course it's sexy teen heartthrob Danny DeVito. Who else would it
Nice.
possibly be? I wish that I could show you the Danny DeVito Google image search that I have on my computer to
I
prove to
got
you
it.
that I've been thinking of Danny DeVito since Tom asked this question. But yeah, it's 100% Danny DeVito. It's Danny DeVito
Good, you get to stay.
with the nose that he wore as the penguin, but other than that, 100% Mr. Rossetti. It's sexiest, teeniest, heartthrobbiest Danny DeVito.
How do none of you guys know what
Little
a
known
teenager
fact,
is?
that wasn't a prosthetic nose. Danny DeVito is so committed, he actually just like stretched his nose out for that role.
He just grew his nose.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, is anyone on the Wikipedia for Danny DeVito?
Always.
Okay. without going there to answer this question, guess how old Danny DeVito is?
72.
76.
81.
68.
Actually, that was you were pretty close. He's gonna be 75 years old.
That means I
holy
win by
shit.
Price is Right rules.
That's true.
Wait, did you say
Unfortunately, that's
74?
true.
I said 72.
Or you said 7? You said 70. Because his birthday is November. He was born in 44. Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
If there's one thing we can take away from this episode, it's that.
the Danny DeVito is aged like a fine wine.
Well, he shot right up to, he like looked 40 when he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
Or he looked 50 when he was in his 20s, and then he just stayed there. He just like leveled out.
He ages 1 year every like 7.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. There you go.
Where are we?
Here's what
Where are
we
we on the
brought
show?
you.
So I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in all of you for having no idea what a teenager is. That the closest any of you got was Taryn Egerton, who is 29.
Yeah.
We did it.
I want to quickly let you guys know that the correct answer for sexy teen Mr. Rossetti would be to cast Dylan and Cole Sprouse, not have both of them play Mr. Rossetti in opposite scenes, but to have one of them as Mr. Rossetti and the other as Don Rossetti.
This is where I'm going to take the opportunity to express my disappointment in Nintendo that Sonny and Donnie don't rhyme, and they very much look like they do, and they needed to pick two different names for those characters. That's all. Go on.
Are you sure it's not pronounced Monty?
It might be.
No,
Good.
Tom, I need to point out, are you sure you know what a teenager is? Because Dylan and Cole Sprouse were born also in 1993.
Incorrect. They were born in 1992. I was testing you, and you have failed.
Oh,
Which was the same year Freddie Highmore was born.
wait. Did Tom just like go and edit the Wikipedia to have us look at that? Is that what just happened here? I missed it.
Jesus, are we done with this podcast yet? What's happening?
mostly I'm being nitpicky because they played sexy teenagers.
Tom is being nitpicky. Todd is hopped up on cough syrup, and the rest
What's
of us
your
are dealing with
excuses,
it.
huh? What do you guys have?
Todd's on that scissor.
That NyQuil life.
All right.
Tom, take us home. We need to go home.
You guys, I've been given the task of making an arrest here today. And to be completely honest, I'm still not totally sure who did this. You've all made
That's
great
fair.
cases today, and this is your last chance to tell me why your suspect is the one who deserves to rot away in jail for the rest of eternity. I realize that was a dark tonal shift, but it's Halloween, baby.
I've got one line to leave you with. Well, 2 lines. First, it's who you least suspect, and that's me, or Isabel. Second,
Whoa, plot twist. It was
Tom.
Detective Todd is the killer.
Tom, underneath these season-appropriate cardigans exists an endless well of rage that's been unleashed. It's Isabel. She did it. But she did it for you and the rest of the people.
I don't know when your argument for Isabel became this like anti-capitalist one.
Yeah.
It just happened, and you expect us to accept it.
She's not the hero that we deserve, but she's the hero that we need.
Well, Tom, the real killer is the dead-eyed pigeon Brewster and it was to cover up his cocaine empire. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm rewatching Breaking Bad right now, and everything to do with the fact that it's true and happening. And if you don't arrest him, he will destroy our town.
Drugs are bad, but
Hot take.
but what's
Henderson
worse
2020.
is thank you. But what's way worse, is a psychopathic serial killer, and that's what we have in Mr. Dr. Strunk. Yep, that's it,
Mr. Dr. Strunk.
Mr. Dr.
Yep.
Shrunk. I'm really having a hard time accepting this axolotl as Kilgrave from Jessica Jones, because that's what
shit.
you're positing, and it's a little too fantastic for this world.
He is Kilgrave. I even gave him a well-known English actor to portray him. So yes, he is definitely Kilgrave. Dr. Strunk deserves to go to jail for the rest of his life, and he will go there doing the Shrunk Funk Shuffle all the way.
You deserve to go to jail for saying those words out loud.
Andrew's the killer,
Shuffle.
and my evidence is shrunk. What is it? Shrunk Funk Shuffle.
If
The
you
Shrunk
say it
Funk
anymore, you
Shuffle.
summon him into existence. Please stop.
If you say it anymore,
And-
you get a free pizza.
And it's his free pizza.
All of that aside, I would like to point out once again that Mr. Rossetti is the clear option. If it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. Mayor Tortimer.
Probably Danny DeVito.
Mayor Tortimer ran into Mr. Rossetti's pickaxe. He ran into Mr. Rossetti's pickaxe 10 times.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
your
right.
second musical theater reference of the episode. Way above quota.
You really know how to win my heart. Okay. Before I bring down the hammer of justice, locking up the cruel bastard who's brought so much darkness to our peaceful world, I wanted to give each of you a chance to say something nice about one of your fellow detectives. Is there someone whose theory sounds reasonable enough to you to make you doubt your own accusations? Now's your
Absolutely not.
chance. Fair. Now's your chance to let your own suspect go free if you've been swayed by someone else's arguments.
So.
I'll take that as a no.
No, Kyle, I really like Brewster. I think that was, it was cool to see that character and kind of say like, hey, Kyle, I think you might enjoy doing this. And I'm glad you did it, because I feel like all the anger that you put into Brewster is like somewhat funneled from like the dark sides of your brain, because of your own experiences. And so when
No. Todd, and also Todd, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop saying things before the cops come.
they're already on their way, Kyle. And so yeah, I think Brewster's a cool character. I did not play the game that Brewster or Dr. Shrunk came from, but I thought that you did a good job telling a good narrative of this like barista who is just out to like take out the mayor. That's just his thing, and he doesn't care what happens as long as he gets his coffee empire to keep going. Dr. Shrunk deserves to be in jail, but for other reasons.
Dr. Shrunk sounds like a sexual predator.
He is a pervert.
I'm not okay with Dr. Shrunk. Dr. Shrunk gives me the kind of energy that Gritty gave everyone when he first showed up on the scene before we decided we were okay with him. And I am upset at you and him. What game was Dr. Shrunk from?
New
Which
Leaf.
one?
New Leaf
Okay.
and Wild World. Wild World.
I think he shows up in City Folk too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so Matt, you're Matt. I love hate Mr. Rossetti, and the thought of Danny DeVito popping out of the ground and starting to yell at you is really good in my head. So I liked that a lot.
Todd, I did enjoy the narrative you spun with Isabel, even though it very much has Zootopia vibes with Jenny Slate's character. You also missed an opportunity to cast Jenny Slate, who should be cast in more
Ooh,
things.
that's
She's
good.
closer to being a teenager than Megan
That is
Mullally.
that is true. Andrew, yeah, Dr. Shrunk is a pervert and should be locked away, and I agree with you there. And Matt, Mr. Rossetti is the red herring in this case. He's there to throw us off the trail of the real killer, Brewster. But he is good because he's a crazy mole who I think would kill everybody and absolutely needs to be cast in a movie as Danny DeVito, because Danny DeVito should also be in more things. That's all I've got.
Todd, how you doing, man? You feeling good? You okay?
We've left the body there as a reminder for all to see, Andrew.
Thank you for coming today.
Hey, I tried.
Kyle, if this were a Law and Order episode, Brewster would be the guy that they talk to at the beginning who just doesn't stop moving boxes.
He is too busy to stop moving these boxes to talk to the police about a murder, because he has these boxes.
Listen, I gotta
to move.
unload this truck. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard of him. What about him?
I've seen him around. Never talked to him. Seemed like a weird guy. Don't mind me. I've just got these boxes to move.
I wish I could help you more, officers, but I gotta move these boxes.
And Matt, if this were a Law and Order episode, Mr. Rossetti would be the guy that runs for no reason, and they have to chase halfway through the episode.
Who committed a completely unrelated crime.
Yeah,
and that's why he's
exactly.
running.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they cut to ad break then. But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. I look forward to, on a yearly schedule, our Halloween episodes, and I cannot wait to get more into this craziness because it's delicious.
hopefully Todd's cold lasts the entire month of October.
Oh,
So
let's
we
hope.
One can only
We
hope.
get
Continuity.
Dark Todd all month.
Yeah.
Nega Todd.
The Spooktacular Express, brought to you by Todd's bottle of NyQuil.
Oh. Hashtag ad.
Yeah, man, Todd. I don't know that I liked much about what you said about Isabel, but I liked a lot of the things you said about anti-capitalism. So points to you for that. Kyle, man, Brewster is my favorite candidate for this murder. Holy smokes. The idea of a snapped barista at assumingly famously litigious coffee corporation pouring cocaine into people's coffee to get them to come back is my favorite headcanon.
He's cold. He is driven by greed, and he's gonna move his product through coffee. That's all I've got to say.
And yeah, Andrew, the idea of an axolotl that teaches people emotions is both strange and twisted, and something that only Nintendo could dream up, and something that only you could take and make dark. So good job with that.
Thank you.
I'm not comfortable with the energy Dr. Shrunk has brought to this podcast.
I have one more good vibe.
Yeah.
Let's thank Tom, our guest
Yeah.
moderator.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you
Wait,
guys. This is a lot
I didn't
of
want to
fun.
thank him until he chose the right answer, but all right.
I want to keep these losers guessing.
He's definitely not padding his results by thanking our thanking our moderator. That would be facetious and wrong.
I gotta say, you've given me a really hard choice to make here tonight, this morning, whatever time of day it is.
Whatever time it is, and in this
Sure.
fictional murder scenario we set up in Pete Buttigieg's mind.
Yeah, I was gonna have a cop out here where Pete Buttigieg is the actual killer, but it's too close to the election. I don't want to risk putting that out there into the world.
You don't want a defamation suit on your hands.
Exactly. I highly suspect Pete Buttigieg has never committed murder. That's what I'll say.
That is the likeliest scenario. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
So you guys, I'm gonna give you my kind of thoughts here before I tell you who I think the winner is. The winner.
The winner of this murder investigation.
Yeah.
It's kind of a winner. So, Todd, I love the idea that Isabel might have done this because it's always the person you least expect, but also because it kind of reminds me of Scandal. There's something really appealing to me about the strong female lead who has been pulling the strings behind the scenes the entire time, potentially killing off the person who seems like they're actually in charge, and everyone just kind of going along with it because Olivia Pope is more the president than the president. So kudos to you for that one. I also really like the anarchist angle. I thought that was really fun.
It brought some. It was fun and carefree.
Yeah. Kyle, the Brewster as a coke dealing poison master is an extremely appealing narrative.
Isn't it though?
It's, you know, that I have to say, you do lose some points for being the only one who picked an actor I've never heard of in my entire life. On that super secret bonus question.
He
But
was in Rocket Man.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
I love Elton
Is in
John.
Kingsman
And Kingsman.
and second Kingsman, but not the third one coming out.
Beloved action movie franchise Kingsman.
First Kingsman, second Kingsman, first Joshua's Man, all those great movies. I really love the idea of a coke dealing pigeon. I think that's very fun. Canonically, though, I'm pretty sure pigeon milk is just Brewster's jizz. So I don't know if you're allowed to change the headcanon there.
I thought about going that route and didn't for a lot of good reasons.
You like stood at the fork in the road and you're like, no. And Tom's like,
Yeah.
hey, what about this?
What about the gross option?
I mean, like, birds have one hole that things come out of.
It's
right?
a cloaca, Tom.
Yeah.
Kirby's mouth is also a cloaca. We've talked about this.
Todd,
Sure
Tom,
in
we've
the
all
wiki.
agreed not to get Todd riled up on bird anatomy because he just goes off on tangents and he's hard to stop after he gets going.
Well, I gotta say, Talon Egerton was a decent
Close
choice.
enough. Moving on.
It was 2 bird puns in his name. All right.
Yeah.
Andrew, Dr. Shrunk using his Kilgrave-esque powers to manipulate people's emotions and force them to feel horrible is super sinister and really, really exciting to me. I think that of all of the movies that would come out of this, that's maybe the most interesting. Like, that's the one that kind of feels like it would win an award of some kind. Although I think I'd enjoy...
Not for nonfiction.
No, but I think I would enjoy the
Sure.
the Megan Mullally Isabel movie more. Just, that's kind of the top comedy. This is the top drama,
Yeah. fair.
So I appreciated that. That was a really fun breakdown of that character who is maybe one of the most like tragic figures in the Animal Crossing universe.
Oh, he's so weird. He's so weird, and everything about him is so fiddly too. Like, I played New Leaf for like 2 years, and I just couldn't figure out that mechanic at all.
I mean, Google exists. You could have.
Well, okay, Tom. We invite you to our house.
Andrew purposefully avoids Googling anything
Mm.
because he likes to pretend it's 1998 still.
I go on
Oh.
GameFAQs and I print out all the 200 pages of ASCII art.
I don't remember 1998 because I was 5.
You were a babby.
Matt,
Yo.
my sweet baby boy.
Yep.
Wait, when in August are you? Are you a Leo or a Virgo?
I'm a Leo.
All right. Well, yeah, we had our fun. Matt, I really enjoyed you picking Mr. Rossetti for this one because he is kind of the only person in town who like looks
Definitely
like
murders.
they would do it. yeah.
Straight
I
up
think we can all
kills
agree he
people?
definitely kills people. I just don't
Yeah.
know for sure that he killed Tortimer. But I really like that you brought in an accomplice. You were the only one who did that. And I think there's something really strong about that argument, having him bring in his brother, having them have the motive of having their whole operation shut down. It all makes a lot of sense. And I think it was maybe the best thought out argument here. So I don't want that to go unnoticed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So you guys, I have brought all of your theories to my crack team of, forensic scientists or whatever. And we,
Booker and Cooper, the 2 police officers.
well, no, fuck the cops.
You're doing well because this is about the point in the show where the facade of our setup starts to fall anyway. So you're doing well.
I figured. I was like, I'm losing this. Guys, I have a feeling. I have a feeling we all know really who is behind this.
That's true.
It was. Do you guys want like a drum roll or something? Should I just drop the name?
I just need to know.
The suspense is killing me. So you've done
I
it.
have to know.
Yeah.
All right. No, I was gonna fake out and tell you that it was Mayor Pete, but it was not Mayor Pete.
Oh.
Guys, this was a very hard choice for me because I think there's two here that I want to be the winners. And I'm going to tell you who the runner-up is, and then I'm going to tell you who the winner is. And the runner-up is Mr. Rossetti.
Yeah, that
I
tracks.
think Mr. Rossetti was an incredibly strong choice. It was extremely well thought out. Kyle, you broke me laughing several times throughout this recording.
That was
but
Matt.
Matt had Mr.
Yeah,
Rossetti.
Matt had Mr. Rossetti.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
You faked me out. I thought I won. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Matt had
Kyle.
Mr. Rossetti.
Kyle,
okay.
I gotta tell you, Kyle, you are not one of the runner-ups, nor are you the winner.
Oh no.
That's disappointing.
Matt, it's been a long day. I'm sorry I called you Kyle.
It's okay. This is the second guest in a row that's called me the wrong name.
Oh no.
It's kind of a bit now.
Matt, I thought yours was the strongest argument here tonight.
Thanks.
So I wanted to let you know that had it not been for the fact that I really fucking love Scandal, you might have been the winner tonight. But unfortunately, I do really fucking love Scandal, so the winner is Todd.
Hey! I blacked out during half
horseshit.
of this and still won.
Yeah, Isabel's the murderer. It makes a lot of sense. I really like the idea that the town completely covered it up. You're the only one who had that kind of narrative of like, everyone else is in on this. It makes it a little spookier. It makes it really fun. Congrats.
I think it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, none of this makes sense, right? But that's fine.
No.
Todd, where do you think you are right now?
I'm certainly not in a makeshift podcast studio in our walk-in closet, if that's what you're asking.
Are you in South Bend, Indiana?
That's not a real place. We've been through this.
Todd is in another universe right now. Tom, thank you
Yeah.
so much for doing this. This
My
was a lot of
pleasure.
fun.
Yeah, thanks.
This
man.
was great.
Anytime.
A little peek behind the metaphorical curtain. I messaged Tom about 2 months ago, and I said, "Hey, I have a pitch for you." It was literally, I have a title, but I don't have an episode. The title is Animal Crossing Murder House. Can you do something with that? And he just took it from there, and this was so much fun. Thank you for being our first experimental guest moderator.
I'm glad to have been your first, guys.
An experiment gone well, I think. I
Yes.
think we can all say.
Yeah.
You're basically part of the show anyway, so
I'm always happy to join you guys anytime.
why don't you tell us where we can find you, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the executive producer of the Upford Network, a fine network of podcasts based out of Montreal in Canada. So if you want some wholesome, friendly content with goofy vowel sounds, you can head to upfordnetwork.com.
And more knowledge of French than you'll get here.
Yeah. I also personally host Up for Discussion, where Todd has been a guest in the past. And that's like a comedy show where we talk about depression and things a lot of the time. Not exclusively, but, often. And they're calling again a podcast about Frasier that by the time this is out, both Todd and Andrew will have been on. And blasting off again, a podcast where I'm watching through every episode of Pokemon that Andrew has been on. So Kyle and Matt, hit me up anytime.
Where are you in your Pokemon journey, and how far are you going in your Pokemon journey?
We're about halfway through Kanto at the time of this episode's release.
Okay.
And
Are you pre or post Charmeleon evolving?
I think
pre.
I think pre. I don't think
Okay.
Charmeleon has evolved
That
yet.
was the cutoff. Like whatever channel I watched Pokemon on growing up, that was when
WB bought it.
yeah, WB when Charmeleon evolved, the next step it would like restart and they'd start over at the beginning
Oh.
again. So those are the ones I've seen
Crazy.
the most.
That sucks.
I think it's the first 6 badges.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be. I think the next episode that we're gonna record at the time of this
Ooh.
recording is the one where he evolves into Charmeleon, and I didn't know that, and that's exciting. Cool. Anyway, yeah, we're about halfway through Kanto. We're planning on going forever. So
Okay. As
Yeah.
long as there are episodes of Pokemon to watch. So I have plenty of time to jump on this train.
Oh,
is what
absolutely.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
yeah, I forced Kyle to do. God, I keep calling everyone. All of you are Kyle. now.
Everyone's a Kyle.
I
We're
forced.
just a drywall punching bunch.
I forced Andrew to do an entire episode about Venonat with me.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can find all of those things wherever you get your podcast, and you can follow me on Twitter at Tom Zalatnai.
Do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
And
Tom.
if you're in Montreal, you can just find me. I'm around.
Just go into the street and start
He
yelling
won't tell you
Tom.
how, but if you go outside and yell for him, he might hear you.
I came to Canada for Tom.
Well, thanks everyone for listening in to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Debate This Cast. Check out our website at debatethiscast.com. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review or comment on all of our social mediums so more people can hear our nerdy show. Tom, you want to take us out?
Sure. Until next time, I'm Tom. Turns out I'm younger than Matt. Zalatnai.
I'm Todd, sponsored by the Pizza Hut Book It program, Thomas.
I'm Kyle Pigeon Milk Harper.
I'm Andrew. Freddie Highmore is younger than the other one that Tom said, so I actually was closest to a teenager. Henderson?
And I'm Matt. I was just going to say one free pizza at Pizza Hut because I don't understand the Animal Crossing references.
Thanks so much for debating with us, and if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.